Have you ever wondered how life on Earth became so diverse? How did we get from tiny single-celled organisms to the incredible variety of plants and animals we see today? This is the question that fascinated a young naturalist named Charles Darwin. In 1859, Darwin published a book that would change the way we understand the natural world, On the Origin of Species. In it, he presented a revolutionary idea, evolution by natural selection. This theory helps to explain how life on Earth has changed over millions of years. Natural selection is a simple yet powerful idea. Imagine a world where animals and plants have to compete for limited resources like food and space. Those individuals with traits that give them an advantage in this struggle are more likely to survive and reproduce. Darwin's theory of evolution is a cornerstone of modern biology. It helps us understand not only where we came from, but also the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. Our journey into evolution begins billions of years ago with the very first spark of life on Earth. Scientists believe that life arose in the primordial soup of early Earth, a mixture of chemicals and energy. Exactly how this happened remains one of science's greatest mysteries, but we know that from simple beginnings, life found a way to survive and reproduce. These early life forms were very simple, single-celled organisms, but they were the ancestors of every living thing on Earth today. Over time, these early organisms began to change and diversify. They evolved new ways to obtain energy, to protect themselves, and to reproduce. This process of change over time is the essence of evolution. The Earth is not a static place. Over millions of years, continents have shifted, climates have fluctuated, and new environments have been created. These changes have had a profound impact on the evolution of life. Imagine a group of animals living in a lush forest. Now imagine that over time, the climate becomes drier and the forest gradually transforms into a grassland. Animals that were once well suited to life in the forest may struggle to survive in this new environment. This is where evolution comes in. As environments change, so too do the pressures on the organisms that inhabit them. Those individuals with traits that make them better adapted to the new conditions are more likely to survive and reproduce. Life in the wild is a constant struggle for survival. Animals compete for food, water, shelter, and mates. Plants compete for sunlight, nutrients, and space to grow. This competition is a driving force behind natural selection. Think of a herd of gazelles grazing on the African savanna. A pride of lions stalks the herd, looking for an opportunity to pounce. The slowest gazelles, those who cannot outrun the lions, are the most vulnerable. In this scenario, speed and agility are essential for survival. Gazelles that are naturally faster and more agile are more likely to escape the lion's clutches and live to reproduce. Over time, this can lead to a population of gazelles that are faster and more agile overall. Section 5, Nature's Choice, Natural Selection. Natural selection is often called survival of the fittest, but what does fittest really mean in an evolutionary context? It doesn't necessarily mean the biggest, the strongest, or the fastest. Instead, it refers to the individuals that are best suited to their environment and way of life. Imagine a population of moths living in a forest with light-colored trees. Most of the moths have light-colored wings, which provide camouflage against the bark of the trees. However, a few moths have darker wings, a result of a random genetic mutation. Now imagine that pollution from nearby factories darkens the tree's bark. Suddenly, the light-colored moths are no longer well camouflaged and are easy prey for birds. The few dark-colored moths, on the other hand, blend in perfectly with the darkened trees and are less likely to be eaten. Section 6. Adapting to survive. Over time, natural selection can lead to the evolution of adaptations, which are traits that help organisms survive and reproduce in their environment. These adaptations can be physical, like the camouflage of the moths or the speed of the gazelles. They can also be behavioral, like the migration patterns of birds or the hunting strategies of predators. One striking example of adaptation is the evolution of the giraffe's long neck. Giraffes live in African savannas where they feed on the leaves of acacia trees. These trees are tall and their leaves are high off the ground. Giraffes with longer necks have an advantage in this environment because they can reach more leaves and therefore obtain more food. Over many generations, natural selection favored giraffes with longer necks, leading to the evolution of this remarkable adaptation. Section 7. Evolution's evidence. Darwin's theory of evolution is supported by a vast amount of evidence from different fields of science, including paleontology, genetics, and biogeography. Fossils, the preserved remains of ancient organisms, provide a window into the history of life on Earth. By studying fossils, scientists can trace the evolution of different groups of organisms over time and see how they have changed. Genetics, the study of heredity, provides further evidence for evolution. By comparing the DNA of different organisms, scientists can determine how closely related they are and how long ago they shared a common ancestor. Section 8. The Tree of Life. Evolution is often depicted as a tree of life, with a single common ancestor at the base and all living things branching out from there. This metaphor helps to illustrate the interconnectedness of all life on Earth. Just as the branches of a tree grow and diverge, so too have different lineages of organisms evolved and diversified over time. Some branches have remained relatively unchanged for millions of years, while others have given rise to a dazzling array of new species. The Tree of Life is a powerful reminder that all living things are connected, sharing a common ancestor in the distant past. It also highlights the ongoing process of evolution, as new branches continue to emerge and old ones adapt to ever-changing environments. Section 9. Darwin's enduring legacy. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution by natural selection revolutionized our understanding of the natural world. It provided a unifying explanation for the diversity of life on Earth and the processes that have shaped it over millions of years. Today, Darwin's legacy lives on in every branch of biology. His ideas continue to inspire new discoveries and to help us address some of the world's most pressing challenges, such as combating disease, conserving biodiversity, and understanding the impact of climate change. By understanding evolution, we can gain a deeper appreciation for the interconnectedness of all living things and our place in the grand tapestry of life on Earth.